You've been creating mental pictures over and over again. You shut your eyes, experience the feelings, picture your future self, and then reality stays the same. Or perhaps it shifts momentarily. A brief glimpse, a small change, a minor validation, and then you find yourself trapped in the identical cycle, the same mental patterns, the same circumstances. If you've ever questioned why your inner vision feels so potent yet fails to materialize, here's the truth. Mental imagery alone doesn't create your reality. Your energetic frequency does. There's a fundamental distinction between dreaming about tomorrow and actually transmitting that energy. Between picturing your desires and transforming into the person who naturally embodies that life. Within the quantum realm, visualization serves as merely one piece of a much larger puzzle. The true secret, the missing element, lies in your vibrational state. And when that vibrational state doesn't align with the reality you're seeking to attract, it remains perpetually beyond your grasp. Regardless of how clearly you can see it, you've been taught to request, trust, and accept. But here's what's actually happening. The quantum field doesn't react to please. It responds to alignment, to energetic authenticity, to the signal you embody. Not the energy you project during meditation sessions, but the frequency you carry in your breathing patterns, your daily decisions, your emotional states. Because the cosmos isn't paying attention to your words, it's reading your essential being. That's the fundamental principle. And when you grasp this concept, when you recognize how delicate this transformation truly is, everything starts to shift. Not because you exerted more effort or maintained more positive thoughts, but because you ceased pursuing. You stopped pleading. You stopped reinforcing the belief that your ideal life existed somewhere distant. And instead, you began approaching it as an energetic state you could immediately access. This energetic state, the one that opens the door to the reality you've been envisioning, isn't conceptual. It isn't vague. It's tangible and vibrational, and it carries a distinct quality: unwavering confidence, consistent flow. It doesn't hurry. It doesn't yearn. It doesn't question timing. It simply understands. Because when you operate from the mindset of someone who has already manifested their desires, the quantum field responds accordingly because it has no choice. So why does this transformation feel so challenging? Why can you easily envision something wonderful yet struggle to maintain the feeling of, it's already mine? Because your entire history has conditioned you to vibrate at the frequency of someday. You've been trained to delay, to work toward worthiness, to get ready, to earn your place. And now, perhaps for the first time, you're being invited to release all of that programming and simply become what previously felt like an impossible dream. Initially, it feels awkward. It feels like self-deception. But that's simply because your nervous system hasn't synchronized with your deeper truth. Because this frequency we're entering, it isn't foreign to your essence. It's just new to your physical experience. And part of this process involves training your body to recognize what your spirit has always understood. You're not pursuing your destiny. You're rediscovering your natural connection to it. You may be wondering, but how do I maintain that frequency when my external world hasn't shifted yet? Here's the answer. You initiate the change first. You decide that your energy leads while physical proof follows. You redirect your attention from what's absent to what's present, from what you desire to who you are. And as you practice this daily, a different energy establishes itself. One that doesn't crumble under stress. One that doesn't fade when life becomes overwhelming. It transforms into your new normal. And that's when the quantum field starts moving in your direction. Not because you demanded it, but because you finally harmonized with it. This is what we'll uncover in this exploration. Not simply the concept of manifestation, but the specific frequency that actually creates access to the life you've been imagining. We'll discuss how to transition from the pattern of scarcity into the vibration of fulfillment. How to embody as if without pretending. How to navigate life as though it's already yours. Not to convince the universe, but because you're finally existing in harmony with universal principles. Because there exists a formula, a specific energetic pattern. And once you discover how to attune to it, everything in your environment begins responding naturally, powerfully, and reliably. Are you prepared to recall what it feels like to energetically match the reality you've always held in your vision? Then let's start. Let me clarify something crucial right now. The quantum field isn't concerned with your wishes. It mirrors who you are being. It doesn't analyze your mood boards. It doesn't evaluate your goals or tally your positive statements. It simply reflects the frequency you're transmitting. And that frequency doesn't originate from your ambitions. It emerges from your sense of self, not the identity you discuss, but the one you live through. The one that influences how you enter spaces, how you handle quiet moments, how you present yourself when nobody's observing. Because in the quantum realm, reality isn't something you acquire. It's something you create from within. So what does this look like practically? It means if you picture wealth, but operate from spending anxiety, your field registers anxiety. If you envision love, but deflect praise or avoid closeness, your field detects withdrawal. If you imagine growth, but discuss your circumstances as if you're trapped, your field accepts that narrative. Because the field doesn't analyze your aspirations. It measures your internal consistency. This explains why many people experience disappointment on their manifestation journey. They're following all the guidance, practicing meditation, keeping journals, writing scripts, creating visualizations, yet results remain elusive. Why? Because their mental and emotional states aren't synchronized. They're attempting to manifest through thinking while their body continues broadcasting fear, inadequacy, or survival anxiety. The outcome? Contradictory messages, and the quantum field mirrors that confusion. If this resonates with you and you're ready to break free from these patterns, hit that like button and subscribe for more quantum insights that actually work. Here's where transformation occurs. When your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors communicate the same message, the field must reflect that unity back to you. This is known as coherence. And in this state, your frequency becomes steady, powerful, and attractive. That's when reality begins reorganizing itself. Consider this perspective. Wanting without identity creates chaos. But when your identity and your desires unite, your signal becomes clear. And the field doesn't respond to wanting. It responds to knowing. So how do we embody that knowing, especially without external validation? You generate the validation, not externally, but internally. You start presenting yourself as the version who already experiences the reality you've been visualizing. You stop waiting to feel accomplished and begin carrying yourself, communicating, moving like someone who already is. Not because you're pretending, but because you're remembering your authentic self underneath the uncertainty. Neville Goddard described this as living from the wish fulfilled. Joe Dispenza calls it creating new neural pathways in your mind and body. Greg Braden refers to it as heart-brain coherence. But the core principle remains consistent. You stop attempting to become and start existing as that person. That's the quantum frequency we're exploring. It's not something you pursue. It's something you choose to embody repeatedly until your nervous system adapts, until your inner dialogue stops undermining it, until it becomes so automatic you can't recall what it felt like to vibrate in limitation. Yes, it requires bravery, because stepping into that version of yourself before external circumstances reflect, it can feel isolating, confusing, and even artificial initially. But that's simply your former identity attempting to maintain its position in your energy system. Allow it to exist. Notice it, but don't let it control you. You are the signal now. You become the reference point. You become the initiator of change, not the recipient of it. You become the reality. This isn't about manufacturing confidence. It's about discovering the frequency of already existing as and operating from that space. It's about conditioning your system to feel secure in the realm of sufficient. Because when your subconscious feels secure, your energy expands. And when your energy expands, the field responds. So if you've been struggling, pushing, cycling, release that approach. You're not here to work harder for your dreams. You're here to recognize that the version of you who already lives them isn't distant. It's simply operating on a different frequency, a more stable one, a more embodied one. And that version, it already understands how to move, communicate, choose, and feel like it's complete. Because from their perspective, it is. Let's go discover them. We've arrived at the concept that most people misinterpret, and it's where genuine transformation occurs, embodying as if. These three words have been misunderstood, oversimplified, even ridiculed, because superficially, they seem like acting, like forcing, like you're wearing a mask and hoping the universe accepts it. But truthfully, embodying as if isn't acting. It's frequency conditioning. When you embody as if it's already yours, you are synchronizing your physical being with your intended signal before the world grants permission. You're not waiting for evidence. You're creating the evidence. And by doing this, you're transmitting a clear, consistent message to the field. I'm prepared. I've embodied this. Reflect it back. This isn't simple because your surroundings might still show the previous you. Your finances might still demonstrate lack. Your connections might still reflect outdated dynamics. And yet, you're being asked to operate from the new frequency regardless. Why? Because that's how energy transforms into matter. Not through waiting, through identity. So how do you practice this? Begin modestly. You don't need to revolutionize your entire existence. You need to transform how you navigate it, how you speak about yourself, how you carry your body, how you react when something wonderful occurs. Do you fully embrace it or doubt its authenticity? Each of these small actions communicates to the field what you believe you're worthy of receiving. If you were already experiencing your highest reality, how would you begin tomorrow? What would you choose to wear even if nobody would see? How would you breathe, nourish yourself, move, express yourself? This isn't about appearance, it's about energetic presence. Would you still diminish your energy in certain environments? Would you still apologize for your authenticity? Would you still ignore your inner wisdom to keep peace? Or would you start choosing like someone who deeply trusts themselves, like someone who no longer needs to obtain the thing because they've already become the person who possesses it? You see, when you shift your signal, everything connected begins adjusting. That's why some call this quantum transformation, because your choices, subtle as they appear, function like stones dropped into the field, generating waves far beyond what you can observe. So rather than asking, "When will this manifest?" ask, How would I move today if I knew it already had? This is where your actions stop being reactions and start being magnetic. When your language, energy, and presence begin aligning with the reality you've been envisioning, you're no longer trying to draw something toward you. You're simply embodying the version of yourself that's already in harmony. But here's what most people don't understand about this embodiment process. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. Your nervous system has been running the same programs for years, maybe decades. It's comfortable with limitation, familiar with struggle, accustomed to the frequency of not enough. So when you start transmitting a new signal, your body might initially resist. This isn't failure. This is recalibration. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're between stations, you get static. That static isn't evidence that the clear station doesn't exist. It's proof that you're in the process of finding it. Your manifestation journey works the same way. Those moments of doubt, those days when the old patterns resurface, those instances when you catch yourself slipping back into scarcity thinking, this is all part of the tuning process. The secret is in what I call frequency anchoring. Every time you notice yourself operating from the old frequency, you have a choice point. Instead of judging yourself or getting frustrated, you simply redirect. You ask, what would the version of me who already has this be thinking right now? How would they be feeling? What would they do next? And then you make that choice, even if it's just for the next 5 minutes. These micro redirections are incredibly powerful because they're training your neural pathways to default to the new frequency. Neuroscience shows us that our brains are constantly rewiring themselves based on our repeated thoughts and behaviors. Every time you choose the elevated response over the conditioned one, you're literally building new neural networks that support your desired reality. But there's another layer to this that connects directly to quantum physics. When you consistently choose thoughts and actions that align with your desired reality, you're not just changing your brain, you're changing your electromagnetic field. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that's 60 times greater in amplitude than your brain and can be detected several feet away from your body. When your heart and brain are coherent, when they're working in harmony, this field becomes incredibly powerful. Research from the HeartMath Institute shows that when you're in a state of heart coherence, when your emotions are aligned with elevated thoughts, you actually influence the quantum field around you. You become what they call a coherent emitter. This means you're not just visualizing your desires, you're broadcasting them through your entire electromagnetic system. And here's what's remarkable. You'll observe the field beginning to respond. People interact with you differently. Fresh insights emerge. Synchronicities appear. Not because the universe suddenly chose you, but because your signal became powerful enough to cut through the interference. You stopped dispersing energy into eventually and started embodying currently. This is coherence. This is how manifestation truly functions. Not through pleading or scripting or trying harder, but by becoming the signal your future self already transmits. And certainly, the mind will attempt to interfere. It will say, but we don't possess that yet. It will question, aren't you concerned you're being unrealistic? That's not your truth. That's your history attempting to maintain your limitations. Let it speak, and then continue forward. Because this isn't about convincing others. It's about training your field to accept what your soul already recognizes. So today, voice one statement like it's already accomplished. Make one decision like you're already there. Take one action like it's already yours. Because the more you behave like it's already yours, the more the field accepts you. And when the field accepts you, reality adjusts to match your signal. There are periods in your journey where everything seems paused. You've completed the internal work. You've stabilized your energy. You've stopped chasing. And yet, no major changes appear to occur. But deep inside, something feels transformed. Your thoughts are calmer. Your nervous system feels more secure. You begin noticing small shifts in how you respond to life. And then it occurs. A number emerges, repeating naturally. 3 digits that seem to track you across time, locations, screens, clocks, receipts. It's 777. You might notice it and dismiss it as chance. But a part of you, the part that's more sensitive now, understands it's not random. It's a communication, a gentle activation, an energetic reflection. You weren't seeking a sign, and that's precisely why it appeared. Because the field doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to harmony. And 777 only manifests when your field is aligned deeply enough for the quantum to communicate back. It's not declaring that your manifestation is approaching. It's confirming that you've become an energetic match for what's already been surrounding you. That the energetic foundation you established, sometimes deliberately, sometimes through peaceful presence, is now vibrating at the frequency of manifestation. In mystical teachings, the number 7 holds sacred meaning. It's connected to divine wisdom, intuitive knowing, inner expertise. When it appears 3 times, it moves beyond simple numerology. It becomes an energetic signature of harmony, not of flawlessness, but of alignment. It indicates that your thoughts, actions, and emotions are no longer working against each other. You're no longer attempting to manifest a reality from a body that doesn't feel worthy to receive it. You're no longer visualizing with your mind while your heart broadcasts uncertainty. You've achieved harmony, perhaps not perfectly, but consistently enough to shift your timeline. In quantum understanding, 777 appears when the wave of possibility is approaching collapse. You're still within the field of unlimited potential, but your signal is drawing reality toward one particular manifestation, the one you've been attuning to through your emotional consistency and internal transformation. The field has recognized you, not through language, but through frequency. And this number isn't a prize. It's a harmonic echo. It appears not to grant you something, but to mirror what you've already embodied. Now let me share something that might surprise you about these synchronistic numbers. They're not random occurrences or coincidences. They're actually evidence of what scientists call morphic resonance. The idea that when you achieve a certain level of coherence, you begin resonating with information fields that exist beyond ordinary space and time. When you see 777 repeatedly, you're experiencing what quantum physicists call non-local correlation. Your consciousness has achieved such a degree of alignment that you're literally entangled with the quantum information that corresponds to your desired reality. The number becomes a bridge between your current experience and the reality you're becoming. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. The appearance of 777 often coincides with what I call reality convergence points, moments when multiple timelines or possibilities are aligning. In quantum mechanics, we know that all possible realities exist simultaneously in what's called the many worlds interpretation. When you see 777, you're approaching a convergence point where your consciousness is about to collapse into the timeline that matches your sustained frequency. This is why the period immediately following these synchronicities is so crucial. Many people see the signs and then unconsciously relax their vigilance. They interpret the appearance of 777 as permission to stop doing the inner work. But actually, it's an invitation to intensify your focus. You're at the threshold. The wave is about to collapse. This is when your commitment to maintaining the frequency becomes most important. There's a phenomenon in quantum physics called quantum tunneling, where particles can pass through energy barriers that classical physics says should be impossible to overcome. When you're seeing 777, you're experiencing consciousness tunneling. Your awareness is moving through the barrier between your current reality and your desired one. The key is to maintain your vibrational state while this tunneling occurs. During this phase, you might notice what seems like resistance from your external environment. Old patterns might intensify before they dissolve. Unexpected challenges might appear. This isn't the universe testing you. It's the old reality structure reorganizing itself to accommodate the new frequency you're embodying. It's like renovating a house while you're still living in it. There's temporary chaos, but it's in service of the transformation. And here's where most people overlook its significance. They interpret 777 as permission to relax, to withdraw, to declare, it's taken care of now. But this moment isn't about stepping back. It's about anchoring more deeply. It's a gateway. And your responsibility isn't to celebrate too early or return to passivity. Your responsibility is to maintain the signal, stay in the flow, let the field continue synchronizing with you without disruption. You've been told that manifestations occur suddenly, but nothing in the quantum realm happens instantly. What feels immediate in the physical world was constructed gradually in the unseen. 777 indicates the turning point, the delicate balance between intention and certainty, the space where your reality isn't moving toward you anymore. It's crystallizing around you. And yet, 777 represents more than a confirmation of alignment. It's also an invitation to deepen your presence, to stop seeking and start embodying, to observe how your body feels right now in this moment, and ask, is this how the version of me who lives that reality would feel? Would they hurry? Would they question? Or would they trust the foundation forming beneath the surface? Because that's what this represents, a foundational shift. You're not manifesting a result. You're rewiring the core of who you are, how you think, feel, move, speak, choose. The field is responding to that identity, and the number isn't predicting what's coming. It's validating what's present. And if you sense that, not just intellectually, but energetically, if something within you recognizes this message as perfectly timed, as accurate, as authentic, then breathe and let your system absorb it. Let your nervous system feel safe in this validation. Let your heart open to this understanding that you're no longer becoming aligned. You already are. That the shift isn't approaching, it's stabilizing. That what you've envisioned isn't a fantasy waiting to be reached. It's a frequency you've finally accessed. And if you want to make that resonance tangible, not just within yourself, but in the collective field of everyone receiving this, then share a comment below with 777. Not because it's magical, but because it's a statement, a gentle way of expressing, I sense it, I recall, I'm aligned. Sometimes numbers are simply numbers, but sometimes they're a communication system, a reflection, a formula, a truth you're finally prepared to embody. Perhaps nobody mentioned this to you, but manifestation isn't the skill of obtaining what you desire. It's the skill of remembering your true nature. And every frequency you've been attempting to access, prosperity, tranquility, meaning, connection, already exists within that remembering. It's not external to you waiting to be earned. It's inside you, waiting to be stabilized. The reality is, you've already experienced it before. You've had moments, flashes of alignment, instances when time seemed to stop and you felt completely peaceful for no clear reason. Moments when your heart opened spontaneously, when perfect words emerged, when you made a choice that felt like it originated from a deeper place. Those weren't coincidences. They were glimpses of the self you're becoming more consistently and the life that version of you naturally creates. Quantum manifestation isn't about forcing those moments to occur more often. It's about expanding your ability to remain in them, to make those states your foundation, to become someone who doesn't need to visualize because you're already resonating with what you once imagined. And this shift isn't something you'll experience immediately, but it is something you'll recognize in the subtle ways life begins responding. A conversation that feels unusually harmonious, a sense of inner peace amid external chaos, a choice made without endless analysis. These are the indicators that your signal is stabilizing, that you're no longer reaching toward the field. You're integrated with it, merged with it, broadcasting a frequency that no longer compromises with your past. And this matters because the old identity will still speak. It'll say, "You're not prepared. Who do you think you are? You need evidence first." It'll tempt you to return to your history. And each time you notice it, you'll face a choice. Do I replay the old story again, or do I hold the new one for just one more moment? This is where understanding the mechanics of identity transformation becomes crucial. Your identity isn't just a collection of thoughts about yourself. It's an energetic structure that influences every cell in your body. When you've been operating from a limited identity for years, your entire biological system has organized itself around that frequency. Your nervous system, your endocrine system, your immune system, they've all been calibrated to support the old version of you. So when you start embodying a new identity, your body might initially rebel. You might experience what psychologists call upper limit problems, where success or positive change feels uncomfortable because it doesn't match your historical set point. This is actually a good sign. It means you're stretching beyond your comfort zone and creating new neural pathways. But here's the key insight. You don't have to wait for your body to feel comfortable with the new identity. In fact, if you wait for comfort, you might never transform. Instead, you learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You recognize that the temporary discomfort is the feeling of growth, of your nervous system upgrading to support a higher frequency. There's a practice I call identity bridging that can accelerate this process. Instead of trying to leap from your current identity to your desired one all at once, you create intermediate identities that serve as stepping stones. For example, if you're currently struggling financially but want to embody abundance, you might first embody the identity of someone who's learning to receive abundance or becoming financially conscious. This gives your nervous system time to adjust gradually. Each bridge identity has its own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. You practice embodying these stepping stone identities until they feel natural. Then you move to the next one. This prevents the shock to your system that can trigger self-sabotage and makes the transformation feel more organic and sustainable. The fascinating thing about this process is that it mirrors how quantum particles behave. In quantum mechanics, particles don't move from one energy state to another in a straight line. They make quantum leaps through intermediate virtual states that exist only temporarily. Your consciousness transformation works the same way, through intermediate identity states that bridge the gap between who you've been and who you're becoming. That's where your true power resides now, not in how forcefully you act or how quickly you move, but in how consistently you can remain in the energy of already mine. Not to impress anyone, not to manipulate the field, but because that's your authentic self now. You're not searching for confirmations. You're becoming one. You're not performing worthiness. You're embodying it. And the universe doesn't require convincing. It simply reflects. This is what it means to genuinely manifest. Not to force the world to conform to your desires, but to align your inner state so precisely that the world mirrors you in every detail. Not because you're controlling matter, but because you've released resistance. You've clarified your signal. You've eliminated the static between your highest self and your current experience. And when that occurs, something unexpected emerges. Serenity. Not excitement, not urgency, but serenity. Because you realize you're no longer pursuing anything. You're permitting. You're receiving. You're witnessing your own energy returning to you in the form of relationships, possibilities, understanding, and grace. This state of serenity is actually a powerful manifestation accelerator that most people overlook. When you're in this peaceful state, your brain waves naturally shift into what neuroscientists call the alpha-theta bridge, a frequency range between 7 to 14 hertz, where your conscious and subconscious minds begin to synchronize. In this state, your subconscious becomes incredibly receptive to new programming, and your conscious mind becomes more attuned to subtle signals from the quantum field. But serenity isn't passive. It's an active state of allowing that requires tremendous inner strength. In a culture that equates effort with results, learning to manifest from serenity can feel counterintuitive. We've been conditioned to believe that we need to push, strive, and force outcomes. But quantum manifestation operates on entirely different principles. Think of it like growing a garden. You plant the seeds, provide the right conditions, and then you allow nature to do its work. You don't dig up the seeds every day to check their progress. You don't try to force them to grow faster. You trust the process and maintain the conditions for growth. Manifestation works the same way. You plant the energetic seed through your thoughts and emotions, maintain the frequency through your identity and actions, and then you allow the quantum field to bring it into form. This allowing state is where miracles become natural. When you're not gripping tightly to outcomes, when you're not desperately trying to control how and when things manifest, you create space for the universe to deliver in ways that exceed your imagination. Sometimes the reality that shows up is even better than what you originally envisioned, because you weren't limiting the field with your specific expectations about how it should unfold. There's a beautiful paradox here. The less you need your manifestation to arrive, the faster it tends to come. This isn't because the universe is playing games with you. It's because neediness is actually a frequency of lack, which contradicts the very thing you're trying to create. When you can hold your desire lightly, with appreciation rather than desperation, you maintain the frequency of already having it. There is no greater transformation than this, and the more you return to it repeatedly, the more your nervous system learns that it's safe to exist here. Not just visit this frequency, but inhabit it, to make this alignment your natural state. Not because life is flawless, but because your coherence no longer relies on external circumstances. You've integrated the field. You've learned to trust it, and it trusts you in return. So breathe right now, genuinely. Let yourself absorb all of this. Let it integrate into your system, not as fresh information, but as remembered wisdom. Feel your energy settle into the awareness that you've already transformed. You're not waiting for the quantum shift. You are the quantum shift. And if something in this exploration met you at precisely the right moment, if it helped you connect a piece that's been floating just beyond reach, then perhaps this isn't just content. Perhaps it's a mirror, a reflection of who you're becoming. A reminder that the frequency you've been envisioning isn't theoretical. It's vibrational, and you're finally living within it. If that resonates as true, if it feels aligned, then I invite you to stay connected with this space, to subscribe, not because you're obligated to, but because it feels right. Because this isn't a channel, it's a frequency. And if you found yourself breathing differently while experiencing this, you're already within it. We're not just consuming content here. We're rehearsing new realities. We're not just absorbing. We're collapsing potential into form. We're not just studying, we're remembering. And I'm grateful you're here. Now, the deeper truth about why most people struggle with quantum manifestation, even when they understand these principles, lies in something most teachers never address. There's a specific observer effect that instantly shifts your reality when you master it. And I reveal exactly how it works in this next video.